All right, hello everybody and welcome. It is Wednesday afternoon, Thursday actually, March 26th here. Friday perhaps for some of you on the other side of the world, wherever you may be dialing in from. You're here for Resume Chess. Beat the applicant system and win humans with three clean moves. My name is Albert. I'm the founder of Albert's List. We're a job search organization helping you become the most resilient professional possible with AI, side hustle, and job search skills so that you can thrive in this AI first world. Today, we're talking resumes, and I brought in my friend that I always love having on because he goes so much into detail. Nader Molai. He's the founder of Engineer Your Mission. He runs his own school community. He's a career coach and former recruiter who has deep insights on this industry. And so, if you've never been challenged in your job search, if you are looking for a new perspective in your job search, you have arrived at the webinar that you should be at today. We are both real people. We are not AI. I think I'm going to start saying that. So please engage with us within the webinar chat. If you have any questions, put them there. Also put Notter's LinkedIn down here in a little moment too. And this webinar will be recorded, so you'll find it on our YouTube channel. And I will send a follow-up Eventbrite message. Anything else, I think Notter will go ahead and address as he does his thing, and we'll take it from there. So, Notter, welcome back. It's good to have you. I'm really super excited, and I think everybody else is too, since I see lots of people dropping down their resumes on the webinar chat. So that's always good.
Awesome. I've got a couple of them open, potentially do a third one, but we do have a hard stop in 82 minutes and counting. And this is the first time, this is not the first time I'm working with Albert. It's our sixth year. We started working together doing presentations like this in 2020. It's 2026 right now. We've had so many amazing events, helped so many people. I mean, he helps more people than I do, but and that's why he's hosting me. That's why I'm the guest. All right. So it's a pleasure to be here. Over the last two years exactly, I started presenting for free something through Albert's presentation that I still to today, people pay me $300 for. What you're about to go through today, it's a $500 training you're getting for free. So the value is definitely there. And the results, I've got literally over 1,000 results, nearly 1,300 resumes I've written over the last 16 years, 15 and a half years. So a lot of credibility, a lot of experience. I'll share my screen in a second so you guys, I'll make sure you guys can see everything. I'll do a 30-second pitch so you know who I am and where I come from and why you should care. And then I'll take you through the presentation, set up the foundation, and we'll build on top of that. And with that said, I'll drop the link to my LinkedIn profile one more time in chat. And this will be the last time I'll look at chat for now, so I don't get distracted, and we'll keep the Q&A for the end. Cool? So, anyways, in a nutshell, I come from an engineering background. Grew up in a family of engineers, studied electrical electronics engineering, specialized in embedded software development, built a robotic arm, presented it, won an award for it. I am the biggest nerd, one of the biggest nerds in today's meeting, probably. I pride myself. I love books. Totally geek out about the stuff that's happening in tech right now. Started my career in the telecom sector, networking, mobile devices. When Steve Jobs was still alive, I was supporting the first iPhone on the enterprise network. So it was really cool. Great foundation, transition towards solutions building and technical account management for an IT infrastructure company. And by luck, by chance, I got into recruiting. Long story short, within the 2 years that I was there, I was the number one recruiter in Central and Eastern Canada at the engineering division of Randstad. Within like six offices, over 200 recruiters. And I saw the sign, like the song says, I saw the sign, I saw the sign. And I left and started my own company, got married, moved to LA, up until January, pretty much. I think it was like March of 2020, right before Albert and I started working together. I kept recruiting. So I was recruiting and coaching at the same time, recruiting and coaching pretty much from 2010 to 2020. And then saw another sign. I saw another sign. COVID started happening. I knew layoffs were about to happen. So I stopped recruiting because I knew I was about to lose business. Stopped recruiting, went full-time in coaching, career and life coaching. Today, the last 6 years, the primary focus is working within, engineers and technologists, even scientists, especially if you're working tech, help them make transition from where they are to where they want to be throughout the entire job search process. Connect with me. I'd love to have a conversation with you and see if I can help you outside of today's conversation. But what you're going through today is half of this program. I write resumes and LinkedIn profiles for a living regularly every week, and people pay me. I mean, I bundle it up together. I don't sell resumes alone for $500 anymore, but it's a $500 real world value. And I'm excited to teach you how I do it. I've been writing resumes for 16 years. 3.5 years ago, I started using AI. I was early on that. I was about 6 months late for AI. Otherwise, I went deep. And I mean, I handle conversations at a high level with AI founders, and sometimes I chuckle throughout those conversations. So I love AI. I live with it. I sleep with it. I take it out. I do whatever you want with AI. You know what I mean? Uh, you name it, I can answer questions for you. I'm helping three companies now. Albert, an update for you. I'm helping three other AI companies now develop their solutions. I'm advising with them in the background, these stealth companies doing a lot of cool stuff. Long story short, I'm going to show you how to fully do your resume, hyper personalize it, update it, match it from your past experiences to your present skills to your future goal. You're about to learn how to do that for free. It is the first time I'm teaching it live though, so I'm going to sprint through this because you're going to have all this information. I'm going to sprint through the presentation, through the PowerPoint. Let me make sure, give me a thumbs up or a yes or something in the chat. Let me make sure you can see my PowerPoint. So I'm going to go through, thank you for the thumbs up. There's only 14 slides. It's not a lot because the fundamentals and the strategies are the first 80%. You need to understand that. You need to understand perspective. Everybody who's attended one of my presentations, and again, this is not my first rodeo, right? I've been doing this for 16 years. I have 10 years of recruiting. I've recruited for a lot of companies. I've placed over 300 people personally in multiple countries around the world. So that the process is something you can learn. I can explain that right away. It's self-explanatory because this is one workflow with three master prompts in there. This document is 18 pages. The first page is instructions, but it's a 17-page workflow. 17-page prompt, right? So we are going to demonstrate it. I am going to execute it. I'll show you examples, which is why I asked for some examples and I got two resume samples up. But it is important for you guys to understand strategy, approach, perspective before the prompt, because I'm not here to teach you the prompt. The prompt's supposed to be there so you don't have to do anything. You just copy paste it, you run it, and you're done, right? So I need to explain I need to give you some context because that's what everybody gives me feedback on is like, hey, I never thought this was possible, or I never saw that happening. I didn't know recruiters are looking for that. I didn't know hiring managers look for these other things. Cool. So with that said, let's go through these 14 slides, which were built in, I don't know, a minute, maybe 2 minutes. This whole beautiful thing was made by Notebook LM, courtesy of Google's Gemini Pro. So I'm going to take you through this, and then we'll go through the actual worksheet. I'll answer any questions you have at the end. And the most important, the reason you're here is to beat the ATS and win humans, which is the first thing I want you to understand. And that's sort of my resume chess analogy that I see people out there either writing resumes for the ATS, the resume becomes 3, 4, 5 pages. It's just congested with keywords. Does that work? Hell yeah. Is a two-page resume better than a one-page resume? Yeah, if it's for the ATS, it's just more words. It's 2 pages. How about a 3 page? Is a 3 page resume better? Yeah, of course it's better. It's 3 pages. There's more keywords on it, right? But you're forgetting about you gotta win the when you gotta win the human, right? So it needs to pass the applicant tracking system and it needs to be approved by a recruiter. And the hiring manager should see, the details and the proof and needs to be able to assess your capabilities. So again, there's a lot goes into it. And yeah, you cannot just write a book about yourself. You still got to get it done within a couple of pages. So beat the ATS and win humans. This is the jab hook. This is your combo if you're boxing, right? And that's what you're gonna leave with today. Cool. So so hiring managers can see proof, fit, direction. It's very proof. If you want to write some notes down, proof, fit, direction. Proof comes in from your past experiences. When you tell a clear story, comprehensive but clear story of your past experiences, that's your proof. To determine fit, to demonstrate to them that you're a good fit to that job that you're applying to, this only has to do with your present skills. Has nothing to do with your past experiences. Your past experiences at this point do not matter. Can you solve the problems that we have here? What skills do you have to solve those problems? That's their internal dialogue. That's what they're thinking, that's what they're looking for. And third and most important thing, where do you want to go? Where are you already going? What direction is your career going towards? If you're authentically going in the same direction we're going in this department, that the person in this job you're applying to is going, that's alignment. You're going in the same direction that I am. Cool. So just keep that in mind. Resume is a marketing document that proves you have the right experiences that give you the skill sets that you have today that are taking you to a direction, to a mutual direction, a future that crosses paths with this company. So naturally, you have already come to that crossroad where you've met this company, you found this job description, and you are already at a crossroad. You're submitting a marketing proposal, not a resume, a marketing proposal, because that's what a resume is, to prove your past experiences, present skills, and future goals, to communicate that as again, as your proposal, as your pitch. Most resumes fail because they read like a biography. They share things. Most people that I talk to, naturally speaking, I used to be one of those people. Again, that's guess why I don't work in the engineering industry right now. Guess why I don't work as an engineer? Because I failed at this stuff, right? I've experienced everything you're going through right now myself. So bad that I changed directions. I've changed 3 industries to get to where I am, and I'm extremely good at it because I've had those experiences. But my resume was also more of a biography, more of like a list of stuff I've done, primarily focused on past tense and things you've done in the past. Not so much, not so much pitching my skills, not so much talking about the future and the direction I want to go and why that direction is important to me. Cool. So that's the foundation I want guys to understand, because from there you need to now learn the perspective of the employer. Because again, I guess I'm drilling this point home, really drilling it in the ground because this is the tree we're gonna die on, right? This is what happens the most. This is what matters the most. It's also missing the most because most individuals I speak to, willing to bet out of the 54 people that are here, most of you guys likely haven't worked as a recruiter. Maybe some of you have been in a leadership role where you got trained on hiring people and managing people. That's when you would know what the employers are actually hiring for. Otherwise, if you've never been a hiring manager, if you've never been involved in a hiring process, if you've never been a lead or a supervisor, the information that we're talking about right now is probably new to you. And it's this: employers are not hiring your past, they're hiring your ability to solve their current problems. So your ability, your job, your focus during the interview, from the time you write a resume all the way through the interview and multiple rounds, is to prove to them that you understand the problems they're facing and talk about the skill sets that you have or the solutions you have to offer or how you would solve those problems with them. You would focus, that's your job. That's entirety of what you're going to be focusing on through multiple rounds with multiple people is proving to them that I know who you guys are. I know what your goal is. Now you have some problems on the path to achieving those goals. It's that problem, it's this problem, it's this problem, and this problem. You got four problems. This is how I would go about solving it. Problem number one, I would solve this way. Problem number two, I would solve this way. Problem number three, I would solve this way. Problem number four, I would solve this way. So that might take four interviews, but after that, you have convinced them of your ability, your fit, your ability today, because you're talking about the skills that you have today that can be applied to their current problems to create a solution. Keyword today, present skills, not your past. Your past does not guarantee your future success. Just because you did something in the past, employers don't automatically assume you can do it or that even you want to do it again in the future. I see a lot of you guys making that assumption that I did this in the past. Of course I can do it again. No, just that's not the world we live in. That's not the perspective of an employer. First of all, you have to tell them you want to do that again. So you have to clearly, explicitly indicate the direction you want to go into. Most resumes are missing a clear purpose, clear direction statement. Both resumes that I have up, I won't bring it up right now, but both resumes submitted today lack that. Sorry guys, that's why I took your name off off the resume. I won't try to butcher it as much, but these are just examples. And again, I want to help you make improvements, obviously. Uh, Cool. So again, long story short, resume is a proof of relevance, not a biography. Everything on the document must support one single targeted case, one single direction. You should not target two industries. You should not target two different domains. It's one singular direction. That's how you demonstrate that you're focused, that you know what you want and you're singularly focused. I mean, the meaning of focus is singular, right? I mean, as soon as you're focusing on two different things, your eyes are going to cross and people are going to laugh at you. I mean, so it's always going to be single. So I always get asked questions, increasing your options, decrease your chances of success. Going after two different job titles doesn't double your rate of success, it cuts it in half. I don't see you guys, but some of your heads are kind of like exploding. Some of you might be pulling some hair. Trust me, I was there too. But these are the perspective changes, right? So we have to talk about that before we look at the process. So ultimately, again, you're here to beat the ATS and win the human. Your resume has to have all the keywords and all the phrases on all the, everything that has to be there. Right now, there's an AI or an LLM attached to most, if not all, ATSs. So context and storytelling is a lot more important because it's building context from the information you have on your profile, on your resume. And if you're just making lists of stuff and you're not writing sentences or there are no statements and you're not describing the story, the AI is not going to just make assumptions on you. It is now a lot more difficult to get past the applicant tracking system because of the AI component. You know, 5 years ago, it was so much easier to get past the applicant tracking system and get that recruiter call, get that screening call. But it's harder now, you know. And longest story short, beat the ATS, win the recruiter, ultimately convince the hiring manager. Cool. Quick comparison so you guys understand. I don't want to talk about this specific topic much, so we can go and look at the solution, but you see the problem. If your resume has full work history, if you have a list of like an inventory, like a shopping list of, I've done this software, that software, this software, that software, this method, that application, this database is like, nobody reads that. It's just a bunch of words there. There's no connections, there's no sentence, there's no structure, you're just making a list of stuff, right? Vague objective statements. So at best, a resume is an objective statement that just basically says, I want to get a job in this industry. That's not what an objective statement is. You need to clearly define the industry, the type of company, the problem, the solution, the reason behind the why. Why are you doing this? Like at least has five parts in it. So it's clear, concise. It's no one's going to confuse that mission statement, that headline statement with something else. It's written for me, for our company. It needs to be company specific. Cool. And it's to be easy to read, easy to scan, easy to read. The structure you'll see again, this is all built into the prompts. You'll see how much better it is, how it's fully story driven, has all four parts of your story: the situation, the task, the actions, the results, the outcome, the impact, and obviously designed and personalized to you, right? Yes, you want to go from hard to scan to easy to scan, right? You want to go from designed to for that kind of candidate or designed for you to designed for them because the resume is not written for you. One of my coaches, I always say this because it's funny, but one of my coaches used to say, "Your resume is none of your business." He had a beautiful Southern accent. Your resume is none of your business, and he used to talk about it. You're only one person in the world whose opinion on that resume doesn't matter, and that's you. And it was like everybody can have an opinion on your resume, just not you. There's one biased person in this world that's who's the resume is for. So again, we want to get away from these vague objective statement and have a clear direction. From hard to scan to easy to scan. Structured story. A story paints a picture in the reader's mind. When they understand the picture, a picture is 1,000 words. So okay, if I can get that story in their mind within 10 seconds, bingo. The picture is created 1,000 words. They're like, oh, okay, I can see where he came from, where he's at right now, and where he wants to go. He's left or she's left nothing for interpretation. Explicitly telling me where they want to go, where they're at right now, and where they come from. Cool. And absolutely, resume should not explain everything you've done. It's not an inventory of, it's not like a list of things. It's not a wall of fame, you know? All right, let's move forward. We talked about the stages, past, present, future. So every person's story has a past, present, future. The past gives proof, builds that foundation layer. The present talks about the skill sets. And this is the top duties and responsibilities of a job that we need to present skill sets for. Every duty there's a problem embedded in that duty. If you're responsible for doing X, something's not happening with X. Otherwise nobody needed to do X. To do X, you need to solve a problem. You need to enable something. You need to create something. You need to connect two people together. You have to do something. So if you can look at the top 5 bullet points in a job description, for each of those bullet points, we have to describe, explicitly say that we have the skills to solve the problem that appears. Sometimes it literally they tell you what the problem is. We need to improve the system accuracy. Oh, okay, your system's not accurate. We need to improve safety. Oh, you guys have been messing up. Oh, we need to build a backup system. Ah, you guys have had a breach. It's like we always can kind of like see why they're asking for that. We need to increase uptime. Oh, your system's been falling. You guys have had some outage issues. There's always an issue behind it, and this comes with experience. Comes with having done that job for a while, but too often, I see someone reading a job description not knowing the problem behind it. So that's where I come in. That's where you can talk to AI or, you know, do your research. Find out, okay, if they're asking me to do this, why are they asking me to do this? There has to be something behind this. But then we demonstrate our fit by talk about connecting our skill sets to the top 5 duties and responsibilities as the second layer of our branding, as the second layer, middle of our resume. At the top of the resume, we talk about our purpose, our future direction, the overarching goal dictating all other moves. We set the right direction. Your everything you do, you have to have a direction. So direction comes first. I do say it's move 3, but it's the first thing we do. You know, you talk about your past, you finish it, you write it, looks good, looks beautiful. You figure out your skill sets, you set it up, you write your mission statement. It's the third thing you do, but it's the first thing you show. It's on top of your resume. It's the first thing they read. Cool. But let's talk about that first. We're going to talk about move 3 first. So again, your king on this board is the ultimate goal indicating all strategy. You can be in a totally different industry if you want to shift to another industry. That's it. You're in that industry. You can be a carpenter aiming to become a baker. You're a baker. You know what I mean? Whatever you learned in carpentry school Whatever those transferable skills were, you can bring to the bakery with you. But you're no longer a baker. Your direction, your goals, your future determines who you are, determines your brand. And that's why I'm choosing the carpenter and baker example. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do. It's you're defined because this is how you're being viewed from the employer's point of view. They don't look at you and call you a carpenter. As much as this is probably confusing some of you guys, because you might be thinking, well, no, I've got 15 years of I've been a carpenter for 20 years. Of course, they're going to look at me and say, you're a carpenter. No, they're not, because you applied for a baking job. You're a baker, you know? And guess what? You gotta have skills to bake with, you know? But you're a baker. That's what determines your direction. That's the king, right? So again, that one's really not up for debate. You know, maybe we can debate it later on today. But you choose to become a baker, you're a baker. You gotta back it up with skill sets to determine that you're actually a fit for that job. Guess what? If you've never baked something, you actually don't know how to operate an oven, you're not gonna get that job, right? But your brand, your brand is defined by your direction. It's backed by your skill set. So this is your bishop, the targeted strike connecting your skills to their needs, to their problems. So I know as a baker, you need to operate certain machineries and appliances. You need to understand temperatures and humidity and where the food comes. You need to know certain things about that specific job. It has nothing to do with carpentry. The transferable skill sets is perhaps when you're dealing with a customer, communication skills, collaboration, managing your books. There are transferable skills that are not baking related, but they're involved with the process of baking or working in a baking shop, in a bakery, right? So those top five duties that are expected of a baker, you need to talk about, you need to have. If you don't, you're unqualified for that job. Do not apply to it. You're wasting your time, right? But any job you're applying to, and I'm using an extreme example on purpose, the carpenter to baker. Chances are you guys are making small pivots. You see another job, it's like, oh, I can do 80% of it. Should I apply to it? Like, yeah, if you can, if you have all the skills, you know, it's not, don't determine to apply for a job only because, only if you've done it. You could have never done that before. You could have not ever, you could have done the job, but not in that industry. You could have come from the same industry, but not that job. There's a lot of variables, but as long as you understand what are the top duties and responsibilities and you have the skill sets, you know how to use the tools that are required to perform that job well, then you should apply to it because you are qualified, even if you've never done it before. Now, the ultimate case is that, you know, you have done it before, you know, that's amazing. But assuming you haven't, or assuming you're somewhere in the middle, you have some of the skills, you don't have some of the other ones. That's what determines your success rate, you know, because it's normally somewhere in between. If you have all the skill sets that they're looking for, fantastic, you're a great candidate. But sometimes you're missing number two, sometimes you're missing number four and five. You know, the goal is to, again, have it fully aligned, ideally talk about having all the skills if you want to position yourself well, even if you haven't done it before, and describe them. So again, what you're learning today is how to tell stories, how to sell your skills, how to describe, elaborate how you would use which of your skills to solve what, which of their problems to achieve what results. So problem, solution, result, or you have the problem, I bring the skill sets, you get the impact, your customer gets the impact. So it's a modular system, it's stacked, it's prioritized. It's not a long list or inventory of tools or softwares or kind of like one word skill sets like communication, you know, attention to detail. You cannot just say you have good communication skills. You got to communicate clearly to prove to the person listening to you, hearing you, to say, you know what, that guy communicates well. They need to be demonstrated. Cool. With that said, again, ideal case scenario, more than half of you guys likely don't want to change industries. Like, I'm a software engineer. I've worked in these three industries. I'm looking for another software engineer role in one of these three industries. There's tons of opportunities that I have. I'm like, cool. Awesome. So if you look at sort of the foundation of your career, you just need to do a good job at telling that story and not just the way you want it to tell. So again, I love this line. Your past experience should not just tell me what you did. It should help me believe you can do my job, the next job. And when you talk about your past again, you should not tell it the way you should not tell the story you want told. You should tell the story the employer needs to hear. Very different, right? Total different perspective. Because the one you want told is probably that project you won, that thing, that big problem you solved, that achievement you achieved, the award you got. That's what you feel good about. That's what feels important to you. But if it's not relevant and significant, write that one down. Relevance and significance. If it's not relevant, this is already embedded in the prompt, so actually you don't need to. That's why each of those prompts is like 5, 6 pages. It's fully baked in. But relevance and significance determines if you should talk about a certain project or not. And from the projects that you are going to talk about, how to prioritize them, how to order them, which one's number one, which one's number two, which one's number three. Not from your perspective, from the employer's perspective. Your perspective doesn't matter. Your resume is none of your business. Cool. So let's move on. I want to take you through the actual meat and potatoes. We're just looking at veggies right now. So yeah, the bullet problem again. This is really important too. Again, I'm hoping you guys are sitting back and relaxing, just looking at this because this is just knowledge. This is where I'm likely challenging some of your beliefs. I know I've challenged a bunch of your beliefs, several of the beliefs of a bunch of you guys, and we'll talk about it at the end. But this is just like overall information, What are we moving away from? From saying, oh, I assisted with testing, kind of like task heavy, action oriented, to like proof oriented. They don't care about what you did, they care about what happened at the end. And they care more if you can come to their company and create the same results for them. That's the most important thing. But they certainly don't care about what you did as much as what happened at the end. You could have very much done something and not got any results. You could have very much done something and messed things up, as people do. So just saying that, oh yeah, I worked on this, I worked on that, they're like, fantastic. How many things did you break? It's like, because recruiters are trained to think negatively, and because of experience, that you guys have no idea how many people lie on their resumes. So you speak with someone, you interview them, you have their resume in front of them, an hour and 30 minutes in, you realize that what they're saying is different. You ask them detailed questions, they don't know the details. You ask them, you did something, so what happened at the end? They're like, I don't know. So it's like, okay, well, likely what you did didn't work. There's a chance that you caused damages. That's how the employer thinks. If you can't convince them, their assumption is that you messed shit up, and this is not going to fly with us. We'll let you know, right? We'll be in touch, right? But that's why most interviews don't work out because of discrepancies and the inability of the candidate proving without a shadow of a doubt what they did resulted in positive impact, positive results. Cool. So again, most people write from memory. Strong resumes write from strategy. You know, what you did doesn't matter. What your memory tells, it's cool, but why is it important to them? What's the strategy? Is it relevant? Is it significant? Is the first thing you're going to talk about the most important thing? Cool. Um, Anyways, again, structure and how to tell stories, lead with action, talk about the business purpose or the business problem. They should say purpose or problem, and then conservative outcome or detailed outcome. If you don't know, if you haven't been able to measure it, I know a bunch of you guys are going to look back at your resume. You're like, I don't know the percentage. I don't know what the percentage improvement was. I don't know how much money was saved. I don't know how much faster it was. Okay. You need to be able to talk about the before and after picture, the direction of change, and a conservative outcome, an educated guess. Yes, you do need to say, If an educated guess is 10%, yeah, you need to be able to conservatively say on average of 10% and be able to defend it, in an interview. Just saying that I don't know and I'm not going to put any numbers to it, that's not going to fly. Okay, well then they're going to look at it, they're not going to believe it. Their assumption is that you're lying or like you're just saying you improved it. Obviously, you're using ChatGPT. Every resume is written with AI. So some of the sentence structure is fine. Like I can't really pick at the sentence structure, especially if you're going through a formula. But what is the metric? If I ask you, how did you get 10%? Can you overall say, okay, yeah, this is what I did. This was the before situation. This is the stuff that I did. This is what happened at the end. So as long as I can see the before and after picture, okay, that's a good 10%. You know, that's the proof. That's uh, that's the conservative proof. Cool. So anyways, we're pretty much there. Proof, your experience gives you the proof you need. You you back it up with your skill sets. That's how fit is determined. Your ability to solve the problems they have. So you need to communicate to them that this is your problem. This is how I would save it. Solve it. Bullet point number two. This is your second problem. This is how I solve it. And then on top of your resume, your headline gives direction. If you're lacking direction, if you've done an excellent job with proof, your experience is excellent job with your skills, but you've left direction, you've left it for interpretation, you've left it vague, or you don't have it, no one's going to trust you. No one's going to call you and ask you, so what do you want to do? The assumption is that I sent my resume to that company, I applied to that job description, I want to do that. Like, no. Again, this is hard for people to have wrap their head around. You need to explicitly say that you want to do a specific thing for them that involves solving of these core problems and ends with these measurable outcomes that positively impacts their business, their bottom line, or their customers. It is only when these three parts that align, and then your resume stops reading like a history lesson and becomes undeniable proof that you are the solution for their problem. This is a three-legged chair. So if you got a little stool, like a little chair you sit on, has three legs. A chair needs to have three legs minimum. If you cut one of those legs, the chair will fall. You could have the other two legs of that chair built with gold. It's just not gonna stand. And don't get fancy with it. The designers out there, we're not talking about a fancy design where it's curved and everything. Yeah, you can balance a chair on one leg, but let's be realistic. Uh, cool. So again, we're gonna go through this process today. What I want you to do after you get this, because basically I'm going to walk you through the templates. We're about 45 minutes in. In the next 30 minutes, I'm actually going to show you what I do. Again, people pay me $500 for what I'm about to show you. You're going to have access to it. You're going to be able to, and you're going to need to pick one job. So it's one company at a time. So you need one job description, right? Uh, which I forgot to ask the guys that sent me your resume. I asked you for a job description. If you have a job description you're targeting, send me that as well. I've got these two resumes, the middleware administrator and ex-Nokia senior engineer. If you have a job description, that would be really cool. I can give you real examples. Uh, you're going to pick one. Everybody else, pick one job description. I'm going to show you from those job description what relevant information to gather. Don't ever, 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 ever copy paste an entire job description to ChatGPT and ask it to personalize your resume. Doesn't work. If it worked, you guys wouldn't be here. I would have lost my job 3 years ago. It doesn't. For me to write a resume, it takes a good, I don't know, 30 minutes. It might take you an hour. It's a 17-page process. The prompt, it's three prompts linked together in a series, it's 17 pages. Unless you have something that detailed, the update my resume and match it to this job description, that's not a prompt. That one sentence is not a prompt. You're looking for like 17 pages. That's what you're leaving with today, So pick a job description. I'm going to show you what to pick from that job description, what is important. It is also baked in it's fully described explicitly in the prompt. So although I'm not going to read through 17 pages word by word, but please read it, you know. If you want more details, my coaching community, there's a free 7-day trial. Just get in here for 7 days. You can cancel if you don't like it after that. But in those 7 days, you can attend 3 workshops. I do workshops every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, every Tuesday at 12 at noon, every Thursday at 4. So 3 more sessions like this is plenty for me to give you feedback, answer questions, run a few prompts together. uh, there's resources. You can go to the classroom. I've got more detailed courses in the classroom. So that's the 7-day free trial. It gives you access to everything. There's no limitations. There are 243 people here, you know. Anyways, if you need more help today, you're not gonna totally lose access to me today. You still can get 7-day free trial, includes 3 workshops, and obviously you can ask me questions on LinkedIn and all that good stuff. But this is the journey. This is the process you got to go through. Find a job description, know what's important on that job description, define what you owned and what problems you solved. So before you start using the prompt, I do encourage you to read through your resume, your existing resume, and look for information that's missing. You can upload your resume to ChatGPT and say, please highlight the information that's missing. If you go through my story and I want to highlight what I've owned and what problems I've solved, and any missing information, highlight that to me for me. That is a simple prompt. But you need to do this preparation step, you know, because it allows you to find the gaps, you fill the gaps, and then you're going to be able to discover what you improved, you know, uh, the things that you owned, the problems that you solved, because what you owned and what you solved, it changed something. It created an impact. There's a positive result. Somebody benefited from your work, you know. And if we can quantify those benefits, if we can quantify those outcomes, that would be amazing. So if you can just go through these 5 steps, I'll try to do a little bit of that today live. I'm gonna make assumptions, so I don't want the guys who share me your resume to come on to unmute yourself and start talking, because then I'm just gonna make some assumptions. If I see a gap and I'm gonna say, oh, that's 10%, that's 2 days, that's $10,000. I'll make some assumptions so you can kind of like see. Obviously, this is something AI can help you. This is something, if you were to join the free 7-day trial in my coaching community on school, you have 3 hours to spend with me so I can answer those questions and find the gaps. So like, okay, that's missing, that's missing, that's missing. Let's fill in those gaps. Now you have information. Now your resume has more context. You're now able to go through the prompting process, provide your existing version of your resume to build the updated version. Cool. Uh, that's about it. The presentation is about it. You guys, if you want a copy of this, I can send it to you. But again, long story short, hiring managers, that they don't need your full story. They just need the right proof that this person knows us, knows our problems, has the skills to solve it. Remember, NSA has solved this problem before. That's not what I said. Some of you just heard that. Well, I've never solved that problem before. Have you ever baked a cake before? No? Okay. You think you can follow instructions to bake a cake? I'm willing to bet you can, you know, because as a carpenter, you have followed instructions very well for 15 years. Instead of a nail, you got flour. Instead of a hammer, you got butter. You know what I mean? Follow the instructions, learn it, do it. The first time you're going to burn it, second time you're going to make it better, you know? So it's not that you've done it in the past. That's not the first, that's the third thing they're looking for. First thing they're looking for, direction. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What is your purpose? What brings you here? Tell me, explicitly tell me what you want to do. What skill sets do you have? So number two, what are the skill sets? Why do you think you're a fit? Do you know what our problems are? Do you have the skill sets? The skill sets are the proof. Do you have the skill sets to solve that problem? Okay, cool. You have that. Third and last, where did you learn those skills from? Third and last, least important. I mean, even less important than that is your education. What did you study? Nobody cares about that anymore. Cool. With that said, I'm going to close my PowerPoint. That's enough. I'm going to go here. I have the, I'm going to share all these documents with you. So I think we're all here. Oh, we got two more people. We have 56 people here. So thank you so much, everyone, for staying around, hanging around. And I know I get messages and stuff in the chat. I'm not looking at them, so I don't get distracted. But thank you for your patience. Hope you're getting value from it. Let me take a sip of water, and we'll keep going. So again, I'll share the link to this stuff later, just not right now. I don't want to distract you guys. I want to make sure we stay focused. But this is the template. At the bottom, least important thing that nobody cares about is education. On top of that is your experiences, past experiences. Third most important thing. On top of that, more important, second most important, are the skill sets. These are the top five skills. Every skill set takes 2 lines. It's going to be 5 bullet points, numbered bullet points. These are definitely numbered because skill set one is this, skill set number two is this, three, four, five. And then we have 3 to 5 bullet points underneath every experience. And then you'll see how that works as well. Right on top of it, in the center, it's going to be the vision and mission statement. This is where I want to go. This is my vision. This is the industry I want to contribute to. This is the mission. This is how I'm going to contribute to that. You have your name, location, phone number, email address, and LinkedIn profile sitting on top, all in one line. Don't take more than one line. This is the template I got this template in 2010, 11. It's evolved, but it's pretty much the same. This is the same template I learned at Randstad. So a $60 billion a year company. They follow this structure. Who else uses this order? This is structure? LinkedIn. This is exactly how your LinkedIn profile is designed. You have your name and photo and picture and everything on top. You have a headline statement right under your name. You have the about section. This is about your skills, not about your past. It's about the skill sets you have right now and the problems, the future problems you're going to solve, right? Then you have experience. Then you have education. If you want to put any relevant certifications, you put the certifications at the bottom. Cool. So that's exactly how LinkedIn is designed. And this one's not up for debate. The same order, same structure, past, present, future. Cool. Let's go through the actual job search chess masterclass workflow. The first page is just a few tips that we've already talked about, but hey, take it one at a time. There are 3 templates in here. There are 3 prompts in here, one at a time. Don't rush it. All in the same context window. You can use any AI, it doesn't matter. Pick a nice one, pick a good one. Is it better to use a paid version? Yeah, of course it's better. A thinking model. Is Pro better than Think? Yeah, of course it's better. Is the basic ChatGPT okay? Yeah, basic ChatGPT is okay. Is it worth it to pay $20 and get the better one? Of course it is. So these questions I can save towards the end, but uh, most important thing, I guess, read all that stuff. It's pretty straightforward, right? This we talked about before you initiate this process. See if you can provide more details on your resume. So what you owned, who did you work with, how many people did you work with, what problems did you solve, what happened because of your work, what tools and systems and methods and instruments and equipment did you use, who are the internal and external stakeholders, did you work with vendors and suppliers, outcomes, changes, results, any numbers, dollar amounts, durations, time amount, anything like that. So again, these two gentlemen, I'm guessing you guys are gentlemen, these two either ladies or gentlemen here were kind enough to share the resume with me. So I can kind of like give feedback. Obviously, they both have amazing experience. They're both, professionals with a career, with achievements, good, great education, and I'm sure amazing beautiful future ahead of them, which I'm here to help them achieve, but I'll still give very honest feedback based on what we discussed that, hey, this part doesn't work. Hey, a summary statement doesn't work. The first statement is the direction statement, is the purpose statement. It's about what you want to do next, not what you did in the past. This is the thing that I was saying. It's your lens. It's the story you want to tell. Because we always say, hey, my name is Nader. I studied engineering. I worked in this industry, Trek in 3 years and 10 years in recruiting. And then I've been doing coaching for 6 years. That's normally like a general casual introduction. But the resume is a networking and slash marketing document, and you have a clear purpose. Like you're sending your resume to a person at a company. The company, the job, you know exactly what the job is. So you can write a personalized, hyper personalized headline statement, direction statement, purpose statement, mission statement. They're all the same. Value proposition statement, elevator pitch. They're all the same. They're talking about what you do, what you're aiming to do, what you're aiming to achieve. The frame of reference is in the future. Cool. So, anyways, I'll pick at you guys more, but that was just one quick example. So, if you can go through the resume and see, okay, I have some experiences here, I have some experiences here. Where can I provide more details? Do that before you execute the prompt. Okay. AI can help you with that. I can help you with that, especially if you join, you get into the free 7-day trial. They'll give you three more sessions like this, three more workshops like this, starting this Sunday, that I can sit down and go through it and help you identify those gaps. Cool. With that said, prompt number one is well, I put them in the wrong order. Look at this. So many days of, did I? I don't think I did. I proofread the hell out of this thing. It's just the title. Mission statement. Yeah, so this is actually the mission statement. Yeah, everybody not noticed that. So the first thing you gotta do, remember this was move number three. I guess it technically has to be three. So I'll do that, to be accurate. So prompt number three, move number three, which is the first thing we're gonna do, is to write your resume's mission statement using this prompt. Every prompt clearly defines your AI's role, the goal of this task, non-negotiable rules. So I'm not going to be reading through this. This is literally results of a decade and a half of work and 3 years of, this is something I've been building for 3 years. It's continuous optimization of the process. Non-negotiable rules, structure, format of the outcome, the length. There are multiple examples. There's 10 examples for different people. If you want to look at the stuff you learn from it, if you really want to learn how, like what it looks like, you can read these examples, but you don't have to. This is for ChatGPT. This is for AI. And your job is to provide these inputs. You need the company name, you need the target role title, and you need only the first and or the first two paragraphs of the job description, not the bullet points. Only the company description and the job description or the department description, not the list of the bullet points. We're going to use the list of the bullet points for the next prompt, which is to identify the top 5 most important responsibilities or duties and flip them to find the problem behind that duty that needs to be solved and the skill set that is required to solve that problem, therefore to achieve that duty. Cool. So what you need to be doing, you need to, everything in green is the prompt. So you're going to copy the entire prompt, copy, and open up a new chat with ChatGPT window, whatever AI platform you're using. You're going to drop it in here. You're going to press enter. Now, while it's taking a few seconds to think, it's going to come back to you with, okay, yeah, give me these three things, buddy. Let's go, right? It's going to ask you for those three things. Uh, we need a job description right now. So let's see the last message. Let's see whose is this. It might be from the wrong person, but again, I'm going to be making a few assumptions. Oh no, that's not a job description. Do we have a job description? JD, perfect. Thank you. Cool. So here's one job description. You got key responsibilities, skills and attributes. So you've cut half the whoever did this. It's either if the job description was given to you this way, they've cut sections of it. Like the most important section is not here, which is description of the company. It's like there's no details. I don't even know which company this is. This is not good. It's a bad job description. Uh, and I guess this is another resume. Yeah, yeah. So this is a resume. This is assuming the job description that goes with that. But I mean, if you don't know the company, who are you going to send it to? Maybe you're sent me the short one. Double check that. Let me see if somebody else has a job description. Mark, thank you. EY, Ernst& Young, that's cool. Let's see who else. This is better, like it's especially if you have the job, like you have the website, you know who they are, where they are, out of Sydney, good information. We know all, see, you have the opportunity description, we know the company, we know everything about it. We have the responsibilities, bullet points, and this. So that's really cool. Let's see if there's another one. Qualcomm, somebody, hey, Amit, good to see you. Qualcomm, cool. Same, we know the company, we know the information, description of the company, description of the role. Cool. So I'm just going to give you guys examples. I'll close this resume. It doesn't matter if I'm doing it for the right person. It's just the process you guys want to see, right? You grab the copy paste the first description, assuming you want to apply to this role. Uh, it doesn't matter which one we pick. Let's just do this one because I know Amit and he gets preferential treatment. So that's the title. It's okay that it's not in order. That's cool. We're gonna grab the first few paragraphs, except the duties and responsibility bullet points. If there's a paragraph, normally it should be more detail about the company. You can include that, their description of the company. You can include that. Otherwise, ChatGPT is smart enough to do its own research on the company. Cool. Job area is there. General summary, general summary. So general description. There's a bit of a discrepancy here. Again, my eyes are seeing these right away because it says heads of go-to-market and then now it says senior director. It's probably going to get flagged right now. We'll see how that works, but that's how fast you come up with title. You got to pick which one it is, head of go-to-market or senior director. There's a vision and mission statement. So you copy that. The vision is the what. What are we trying to do? We're trying to shape the commercial trajectory of edge AI video analytics. How are we going to do it? By driving go-to-market strategy, positioning, and commercial growth for edge-based video analytics solutions across enterprise and commercial markets at Qualcomm Technologies. That's a targeted, personalized mission statement. So you basically grab that, you copy it, you bring it to the top of your template, you drop it here, and you're done. Okay. Now we move on to the skills. Now we have the second the second prompt, the second step. So we go to prompt two because we want the skills statements. Again, this is another 6, 7 pages. Same structure, role, goal, allowed input, non-negotiable rules, the structure of it, the mapping rules, because every skill set has to be mapped or linked to a problem. Everything's matched. The truth filter, this is very critical. The output format, the style guide. There are multiple examples in terms of format and density. There's 10 of them you can check out if you want to. There is a quality assurance, a few quality assurance steps to go through before we get to the input. Your input is the target role's title, which you've already given it, seniority, you already have that information. But the top five duties and responsibility bullets go after that. So we're going to come here, in the same chat window, we're going to paste our new prompt. So you see, massive prompt, all that instruction goes in there. It's going to come back and say, yeah, give me all that stuff you were talking about, right? So we're going to come here. You see, principal duties and responsibilities. There's clearly more than five things. Now, I'm actually glad I picked this job description because it's trickier. It's trickier than this. This would have been pretty easy. There are 4 bullet points. We're going to copy these 4 bullet points over, you know? That's it. Copy paste these bullet points, you're done. It gives you four, if not 5 bullet points that are demonstrating the skill sets you're going to be applying to the problems behind these, the problem behind delivering exceptional client services solutions so that you can have happy customers, so you can drive up value for that customers, make more money, make things more efficient. Cool. This one's a bit more tricky because you see they've separated the cores in 4 different categories, and each category has sub bullet points. So here's how I would go about that. This is the most important. So I would copy those two. I'll bring it over. Then we have product marketing and positioning. That's really important. I'll grab those two. I'll drop it in our context window. And channel partner strategy, I'll bring that one over. Cross-functional leadership, working with other people, writing reports, not important. I don't care about that. Of course, I've done it. I'm the head of go-to-market. I don't need to prove that. Certain things, you see, you don't need to. Like, they can't wonder if you know how to collaborate with salespeople. You probably have 20 years of experience, if not more. Of course, you can do that. Uh, Second title on roll. Let's bring it back. Head of, and then oh, okay. Well, let's run that. I'm going to remove that line because we're doing in the reverse order. So technically, this is what you're gonna end up doing, but the first round you'll just set up your past experiences. So the first time around, I'm glad I caught this. So first time around, we'll do number. Well, actually, I'll flip these around. So because you guys are doing this for the first time, right? So first time around, you finish this. You finish your past experiences, and then you're done with the past experiences. The only thing you're going to be personalizing when you're applying to a job is the skills statements, which is number two, and mission statement, which is number three. So I'll just change the order. It's fine. I'm glad I caught this because I told you guys first time presenting this, it works, but the order actually should be the other way around. So for now, I would say, for the sake of the example today, ignore this. And we're done. So there's going to be coaching notes. So let me quickly highlight the coaching notes because I've also embedded the coach in here. So if we look at prompt number 2, don't know how to spell coach. Coaching. So add coaching notes plus alternatives only when not supported by the resume. So if it's going to write a skill set that you don't have the background for, it's going to flag it. It doesn't mean you're not going to use it. It's just going to tell you. What is it really telling you? You may not be qualified for this role. You know what I mean? Now, you're going to see coaching notes on every one of these bullet points because I am doing it backwards, you know? So for the sake of cut me a little bit of a slack, this is the first time I'm presenting this, you know? But normally it should be the other way around. So as long as we've done the bag experiences first, it has the information. So it doesn't mean that Amit doesn't have the experiences. This context window lacks the past experiences because I told them to ignore it. So it's flagging every bullet point. So it's a unique case. But assuming he has those skill sets, it will not flag it for him. And we're going to have our skill statements that will be added one by one here, you know? So you're going to get this part of it. Cool. Now, there are two parts to every bullet point. I want to highlight those. It's the skill label and the description. So what this skill is, Emit has go-to-market strategy as a skill set. It's the what and how it is being applied to this situation at Qualcomm. That's the description. So this is when you weave it into the problems they have, overcoming the problems. What are the problems? Awareness alignment, demand generation, channel engagement, acquisition planning. That's the how. And the why, there's always a why. Support scalable commercial growth. So the what, the how, and the why. Cool. Then you got skill label, transferable, ABM campaign development. He can do it at Qualcomm. He can also do it in different companies as long as it's go-to-market related, account marketing related, you know. Go-to-market strategy development, transferable skill. That's the label. That's the little information that the recruiter is looking for. Recruiters are scanning, right? This is makes it scannable. We talked about scannable, easy to scan. What this skill is, how it is applied to us, why is it important? Do you understand what we're trying to achieve with this? Cool. So we're running out of time, so I'll jump to the last prompt. I know I want to give enough time for Q&A. So this is the past experiences, same idea. Role. This is a bigger. This is 9 pages. I think this is the biggest one. So all the way down. Uh, I'm gonna copy this. Go back here. Again, regularly you would start with this. I'm gonna switch the prompts around because I messed up the order. This will be the first one you execute by setting up your past experiences. Then in this context window, all the past experiences are there. The proof is there, as we talked about. The past proof is there. So we're building from the ground up. You do that only once. And then every time you update your resume, you have a new job. So your future statement, your mission statement changes for every job. Your skill sets change, or the way you talk about it, the terminology you use, the way they're ordered changes. So you basically delete the headline statement every time you do a new one. You delete your top 5 skills, you create a new batch. But your past experiences don't change, just do your best talking about your past experiences. Start by prompt number one, which is right now at the bottom here, but that's your prompt number one, resume past experiences in the other order. What you need now is input from your past role, right? So you don't need job descriptions, obviously, for that. We're going to, I'll take a look at this, just so we do something with these resumes as well. This one has enough info. I love the details and the numbers and the percentages. So assuming this is all the information you're going to be providing, you're going to copy that. You're going to provide that, dump it in there. It's not going to go through that 9-page prompting process, the instructions, and give you the new content for your resume, right? So then you grab this, you bring it to your template under education. You drop it here, bold that. Put your 5 bullet points here, numbered bullet points. Same idea. The skill label, what is it? So they quickly, especially recruiters, can quickly take a look at it. These have all be transferable skills. And the how and the impact. This is pretty much what it looks like. We do hyperlink the company names as well. So hyperlink it, description of the company based on the star method, because the star method is embedded in here. Description of the company is the situation you were in. So a telecommunications company deliver network infrastructure, software platforms that support service providers with X, Y, and Z. That's where you worked. What were you responsible for? Responsible for engineering, maintaining microservices, for intent-based network automation, supporting X, Y, and Z. That's the T of the star. That's the task that was assigned to you. What did you end up doing? I did this 5 things and achieved these 5 results. So situation, all of this is the situation. Task, actions and results. The top 5 actions and results. Cool. Let me pause here. We can obviously do more examples, and I think I did pretty decently with time. I was fair. I'm gonna go way over, but we do have to get off this call in 12 minutes. I'm gonna come off screen share in a second to answer questions. And what I need to do is to give you guys a few things. So I'm going to give you the link to this document. I'm going to make it public. You're able to view it. You guys give me 5 minutes after this call. I'm going to shuffle it around. I just have to copy paste the 3 prompts, put them in the right order. Now they're in the opposite order. I'm going to drop that link in chat right now. You guys click on it, go to file. When I'm done, not right now, let me change the order around and make a copy for yourself because you can't make any changes here, you know. Uh, Let me actually do this quickly now and then make a copy for yourself. So I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to put that at the end. And then I'm going to bring this first one. Bring the first one, put it at the top. Cut that. That's cool. Bring that at the top here. Okay, now it's done. So you guys go to File, make a copy for yourself. So you keep a copy of it. You can make changes on it if you want. You can write notes on it, but this is the updated document. Now I need to give you this template. So because I forgot to make copies of it, I'm gonna do a bunch of undos like that. So now it's saved. I'm gonna copy this. Again, you guys are viewers, a copy. I'm going in chat, dropping that. So again, open this file, go to file, make a copy. Maybe like make a couple of copies so you have the original and then you work on your resume on a new template. Uh, I'll drop the link to my school community, free 7-day trial. Take advantage of it. We can spend 3 more sessions together, and obviously you have access to everything inside my school for 7 days. If you want to continue, if you want to talk more, if you're looking for additional support, if you want more hands-on help, if you want to learn more about my job search system, the full platform, the full training system, This is literally like 47, 46 pages of instructions and workflows, not including the prompts. But the entire job search process, I've divided into 9 steps and 27 actions. This is the results of the what UCI posts. I have over 200 testimonials on LinkedIn. Every week we get offers. This month we've had 4 offers already. I share all the wins. If you guys were to join here, go to the wins. You can look at all the job offers we're getting every week. Averaging about 4 per week, 4 per month, so 1 per week. That's about it. That's my soft pitch to you. If you're looking for more guidance, go for it. Otherwise, what you guys learned here is the structure, the strategy, the approach I apply through the job search system, through my coaching program, to your outreach, to your networking, to your interviews. Everything's mapped out, fully designed, systematically, from the beginning to the end, fully trackable, measurable. And yeah, that's what I do, and I love doing it. So, with that said, I'm gonna get some more water and answer some questions. That's good. So, how do you like to do this, Albert? Let's see.
Hello. We can take a few questions. Let's see. I think people are asking to get access to the slides and whether you'll share the prompts. So if those are available.
Okay,
Um,
prompts are all in the link. Slides.
okay.
Can
Oh, we
I
got
attach something?
5 questions in the
Yes, I
Q&A.
can. Cool. What else? While
Okay.
I search for my slides, you let me know if there's any hot questions.
Will this resume approach still work for a new grad whose experience is mostly project based? And if my master's project involved real clients, does that make them more valuable on a resume? And how should I position that? Ooh,
Yeah, of course, it would make
meaty
more
questions.
sense, more value if you actually work with real clients. And yes, because remember, your education is the least important thing. Fourth least important, third least important is your experience. Second is the skills, and most important is what you want to do. Where are you going? So, where do you want to go, and what skill sets do you have? If you're a new grad, you're not being assessed on your past experiences. Makes no sense. You ain't got none. But don't worry about it. The employer knows. They're looking for drive. Most important thing, what do you want to do? Are you
Yep.
dedicated? Are you passionate to what we do? Do you know who we are?
Will you show up
Will you show
on the
up?
first
It's
day of work
passion, passion,
on time?
passion. Whatever, it's not cliche. That's why they tell you passion. So the younger you are, the least experience you have, you gotta put more chips in your passion box, in the direction, sell the direction and talk about the problems you know how to solve. Or you don't know how to solve them, but you really want to solve them. Again, passionate about solving that problem.
Yep. Let's see. Okay, this is another one. As a recent graduate with more academic experience than professional experience, does that change the resume dynamic to frame skills for the employer?
Say that one more time.
Uh, as as a recent graduate with more academic than professional experience, does that change the resume dynamic or how I frame my skills for my employer?
No, it doesn't change anything.
Okay, great.
So all the
Uh,
links have been shared. I can share them one more time, but just scroll up a little bit.
yep,
Someone just asked for the links. There are 2 different Google Docs. They've been updated as well. There's a link to the school community, and I've uploaded the PowerPoint as a file. It's 12 megs, so that's the one.
cool. How would you suggest utilizing your fantastic ChatGPT prompt for other industries than engineering, such as brand and marketing design industry use? A
All
lot
the
of it
same, doesn't matter.
applies. All the
All
same.
the same. Yeah,
Excellent. I
makes sense.
love it.
This is not an engineering thing.
And right,
This
like with a
is
lot of
me
these AI
telling my
prompts,
story clearly. This is how to communicate more effectively on paper.
yeah. And a lot of these AI prompts, it generally tends to be like everyone will get a different result anyway, but if you are focused on a particular industry, then it applies.
Just
For
run the
the
same
Yeah,
prompt twice on the same window, you get 2 different results. So there's
exactly.
another question here, like, do employers ever screen out resumes that use AI to create them? No, it's not about who created them. It's about what's in them.
Yeah.
AI can do a crappy job.
Everybody's using AI. It's an
All the
AI
job
arms race
descriptions
out
are,
there.
it's AI everything. Like I did start this conversation by saying that I eat it, I sleep with it, I dream
Yeah.
about it, We take walks on the beach together. We do everything together.
Oh yeah. I was on a
And so
trip
does
last
everybody
week
else.
and I used ChatGPT for like as a tour guide. It's really great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, let
Yep.
me share this link one more time. So anybody who's looking for it, I'm gonna share the masterclass, the actual thing first. That's that. And then the template. I'm gonna share the template right after that.
Perfect.
Here's a template.
All right.
What else?
If I am self-teaching Claude Code right now, do you think I can still put that on a resume as a skill? So, I
100%.
guess I can say yes and no to that. So, if you're a coder, then yeah, I think you can. If you're not a coder, then you should explicitly say that you're a vibe coding. Um, I think it all comes down to what you're trying to apply for as a job.
Hmm. You can put on your resume the skill set you learned
Yeah.
today, you know?
Yeah.
It's about, are you familiar with it? Did you watch a bunch of YouTube videos tonight? Okay. You see you around, you can go learn it. You did a couple of hours of learning. You ran a few things, you built your own prompt. Okay, you got it. That's the skill set. That's literally the skill set. Put it on there. Talk about it.
One day, attending a Nodder and Albert webinar will count as like experience.
It is. It is like your
Yeah.
ability to focus, pay attention, take
Yeah.
notes, ask good questions. How many was that? Those are all skill sets.
All skill sets. Yeah. Yeah. And then apply your skills.
Yeah.
And we've been here now for almost 90 minutes, right? So like, yeah. And by the way, the final poll results, 62% feel like their resume is or bleh, and 38% feel like it's fantastic. I'm going to end the poll here. It's good.
Hmm. Last question. I
Um,
know we have to go, but 1 or 2 pages, maximum 2 pages.
yep.
For a resume. I know there's a lot of questions like this. The best thing is I just put my LinkedIn link in here.
Oh, perfect.
I've got 8 invites. There's 47 of you here.
So yeah, so what's going on? What's
Connect
wrong
with
with
me.
the
7 days of free training, three
45
workshops
people
completely
here
for
have not
free.
connected with Nodder? Are you
Take
driving?
advantage of it.
That's an excuse. If you're driving or cooking, then go do it later. But if you're
Yeah, I mean,
sitting
if
at
you're
your
busy, you're
desk,
busy, but like we got about 20% who want to connect.
yeah,
Definitely do take advantage of it. One thing I did forget, anybody, like I always give a discount if anybody wants to hire me and they met through Albert's platform. I always include a
yeah,
10% discount, so $500 discount from the coaching program. So the $500 offer is yours. If that saves you a few bucks, you basically saved $500 today, learning how to do your own resume yourself. But the job search process is long.
yep.
There's
A lot going on.
9 different sections and 27 action items. You went through one of them today.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to do.
Excellent. All right. So let's see. There's a lot of let's do this one. For ATS submissions, is it worse to leave resume gaps or fill each one with professional development or whatever is relevant so that there are no date gaps? On the other hand, adding more gap placeholders adds more short-term tenure, which would tend to lower your score more. Workday in particular may be challenging for an ATS to make through.
If you have a lot of gaps, then the most effective thing is to change your strategy from applying to jobs online to direct outreach and in connecting with decision makers and hiring managers and recruiters directly because you have big gaps that are kind of like an easy reason to disqualify you if I'm only looking at your resume. But to answer your question more directly, again, that's fundamentally you need to stop applying to jobs online because that's not going to work for you if you got a bunch of gaps or too long of a gap. Change your strategy. But if it's a few gaps here and there, short, whatever, no, don't put placeholders unless it's directly relevant.
Yeah.
I took 6 months to go to a boot camp. I took 3 months to learn ChatGPT. I took X, Y, and Z, like it's relevant to the job you're applying to. It's often education or certification. But if you were just chilling, traveling, looking for work, taking care of a loved one, like they don't care.
Yeah, I
Don't
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 think it's enough
dilute your
anymore
story with that, you know?
because, maybe while you take care of your loved one while they take a nap, you can vibe code a website, start a blog.
Yeah, so
It's
again, if it's
all,
not relevance, again, relevance, significance. Anything
yeah,
that goes on a resume has to be relevant and significant. Sometimes you have 3 pages of relevant stuff. Guess what? You have to
yeah.
cut 1 page of relevant stuff. Keep maximum 2 pages of significant stuff.
I've been on
So
a
again,
lot of
I know.
airplanes since the beginning of January. And one of these trips, I look over at my fiance and I say, this is Replit and this is ChatGPT. We have a 5 hour flight coming up. Let's say by the time we get to the other side of this country, we'll have vibe coded a website and launched it. And I've done that with like 2 or 3 projects at this point. It's kind of crazy. Like I think
Yep.
I think I started okay, so I'll go ahead and share it because it's worth sharing. So I built this website. It's called Paso Robles Food Trail. It's a itinerary website for anyone coming to visit California's Central Coast wine country. I vibe prompted ChatGPT over Colorado, and I had a working prototype by the time I left Missouri, flying on a plane. So like that's just how it works at this point.
Oh, that looks beautiful, man.
Hold on.
I love
Yeah.
the UI. Very mobile friendly as well.
What's that?
Very mobile friendly as well. Like
Yes, very mobile
I know I'm
friendly
looking at it on
and
a PC, but it looks very
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
nice.
So like,
Nice.
you build an itinerary and then you can share it with friends. And
Hmm.
I have a nice little running counter there of how many people have created itineraries so far. 164 over 290 vacation days. So I hope people are
That's so
relaxing.
cool. That's good for you. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So yeah, I mean that's also all to say, right? These tools are accessible these days. They're all very available, and it's like, yeah, if you're sitting on a bus going across town, you could vibe code. You could vibe code your professional website.
Hmm. Hmm. You
So
can. You
all right,
can.
cool.
Cool.
So we are at the end. If you didn't get your question answered, please reach out to Nodder. His LinkedIn is available. He will make the time for you. He always makes the time for everybody. It's absolutely amazing. So Nodder, any final words before we send everyone out into this good night?
Um, Connect with me. You guys, most of you guys have reached out. I have 16 pending invitations right now. People are the path. I learned that from others. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yep.
I'm here to make that path visible for you and smooth it out for you. You guys went through one of the 9 core steps. Honestly, not even one, it's half of one of the 9 steps you must go through to successfully get hired. Connect with me on LinkedIn, ask some questions, join the school community, get free 7-day trial, attend all next 3 workshops so we can do 3 more hours of this. It's a workshop, it's not a presentation. Bring your stuff, I'm going to work on it for you, right? We're actually going to
Love it.
get shit done, right? So take advantage of all of that so you can make some significant progress. And for the ones that actually do want to get the additional help, they have urgency, they know I need help to get this next job because I'm not working right now. I'm not making the money I should be, then there's a $500 discount for any of you. I have your names, the list. Albert always shares a list of attendees and registrants to me. So if your name's on that list, you get a decent 10% discount as well. And yeah, I'm happy to do consultations with you guys, one-on-ones. We can do all of that.
Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you again so much, Nodder. You are a gentleman and a scholar. We will have you back as we usually do. There are so many other events also going on Albert's List at this moment, as well as that on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook community. Check out our Eventbrite page for more career enrichment. You deserve it for yourself. Let's make you the most resilient professional possible in 2026. And we will see you all soon. Thank you all so much and have a wonderful night. Goodbye.
Bye bye.